Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Try. My name's Travis, and today we're back with another 7 questions interview. And today we're gonna, oh, screwed it up. Ah, man, it's because I said I wasn't gonna screw it up. Okay, this is where I ask the burning questions I have for a certain athlete or someone in the triathlon world every week. So thanks for tuning in again. Last week we had Trevor Foley on the show, and this week we've got none other than Simon SHI. Simon SHI was a Division One level swimmer at Virginia Tech, and he has to be one of the fastest triathletes to turn pro from complete beginner. I'm honored to have him on the show. He's become a good friend of mine in the last several months, especially after filming and supporting him at Ironman Texas. I've got lots of questions to ask you, Simon, but I'm going to try and limit them as much as I can and hopefully not take up all your time. But thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate you being here. All right, so let's start it off as I did with Trevor, and just tell us a little bit about your background and the swimming you did and how you got into triathlon.
Yeah, so my name is Simon. I was a former swimmer. I swam since the age of 11 years old. So it's been more than 10 years. I swam throughout middle school, high school, and eventually got recruited to Virginia Tech, where I studied computer science from 2016 to 2020, and also a division level D1 swimmer, NCAA, swimming the breaststroke and the individual medley. Also dabbled in some top 15 and several events in Canada. So I'm dual citizen, Canadian and American.
Wow.
After college in May 2020, that's when my swim career was over, but I still wanted to, pick up some hobby that would help me stay active, live that healthy lifestyle. And I started looking things up, and running was one of them. So I'm like, I have the swimming, so triathlon, the swimming, biking, and running. So I picked up triathlon, and both the biking and running at that time in 2020. And that's how it all got started. I started with this $20 mountain bike that I had from college, just going from class to class.
Oh
And
my goodness.
eventually I got that upgrade. But yeah, that's when I started triathlon.
Well, that makes a lot of sense how you got into it. I feel like a lot of people have a similar situation coming into triathlon from another sport. But how in the heck, this is the real money question, did you go from zero beginner triathlete to pro so quickly?
Well, it's all about being obsessed with the sport. I came in running and biking knowing absolutely nothing. I started running with my phone using Strava or the app and clicking play and stop from the phone. I had no idea people ran with a watch. I only thought, oh, Apple Watch does that, but Garmin apparently did that too, which I didn't know. And then I got a dummy trainer where you don't take the wheel off the bike. And I told my coach about it, like, hey, now I can just bike inside and I don't have to go outside to bike. And she's like, oh, no, 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 you don't have a power meter. It's better to get a smart trainer. So then I got a smart trainer and returned that dummy trainer. So it's just being obsessed and just YouTubing a lot, zone two, zone one, looking at different workouts, just learning a lot, being very proactive and doing research on my own and just pushing myself to the limits every single day.
Wow, that is amazing. And you have a similar background to Trevor, with Trevor doing running and you with the swimming. I asked him, and I'm going to ask you this too. Is there ever a time you miss just swimming now after starting triathlon, or where you wish you'd made it as a pro swimmer? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I do kind of miss swimming in the pool. It's more a steady environment. Open water swimming is, there's so many variability. You get hit, you get elbowed, but in the pool swimming, you just have one lane to yourself. And I'm seeing all these world records go down the past couple of years in swimming, and I do miss the environment, all the college, the swim sport, the high school team, where you have like pasta parties the night before, you go to a meet together on a bus, and just the camaraderie. I miss all of that.
Oh, that makes sense. That does sound fun. So we're gonna switch gears for just a second because I want to talk about your last race and your first race this year at Ironman Texas. Take us through it. I was there in person. I saw what happened, but let our audience know.
For sure. Ironman Texas, I went a 9:10. I think I was 20th in the male pro. The swim, I was fifth out the water. I got off to a good start. I was in the front pack for about 5 to 7 minutes until I made a mistake trying to make my own line and not just hanging onto a feet in one of that group. But after I lost that contact, I swam solo the rest of the way, pretty much 43 minutes of the race. The chase pack behind me didn't catch me. So that was just one mistake. But I got out, head onto the bike, and about 35 miles, I was with a group with Matt Hansen in that group, and just hanging in the back, just legally drafting, and then I couldn't hold that power anymore, so I went solo the rest of the way, just held on to my power. It did drop a little, but I did do a 4 hour, 35-minute bike split, which is my fastest ever, and then got off to the run the first 8 to 10 miles, holding a very steady, I think for me, 6:30, 6:40, 6:45 pace, minute per mile. And then everything just started going downhill. I started seizing up on my quads, and just the concrete was just like hitting on me. And I walked a lot, finished out with a 3 hour, 38 marathon and a 9 hour 10, which is still a personal best.
And I was filming you, you were smiling and you smiled throughout, even throughout the pain. So it looked like you were having fun out there. But what is the one thing you changed to hopefully beat that 9 hour mark in the Ironman next time?
Ooh, the one thing I would change is I think I was prepared for everything that happened, like in terms of fitness. Um, but I'd say just letting off the bike just a little, maybe dropping off like mile 25, because I was really trying to keep up with the big boys. With Matt Hansen, one of the former Ironman world record holder. So I was trying to keep up with them, and I went way beyond, my power outage. And I think I'm not there yet in the sport. I'm still 3 years into the sport. So I think just letting off on the bike for like a faster run.
Awesome. Love it. All right. So then now tell us what's next. What does your racing calendar look like?
I have a local Olympic triathlon here in Austin, Texas. It's called CapTex Tri. It's just a local one that I'm entering Olympic distance, non-draft, in prep for the 70.3 Boulder on June 10th. So I'll be moving to Denver right after Memorial Day from Austin, Texas, and starting a new chapter of my life. Get some altitude camp for 6 weeks, and then move back to my family in California and near the LA area. And after that, I'll see how well I trained in altitude and do 70.3 Oregon, July 23rd.
Looking forward to seeing you. Hopefully, I'll be in person at Boulder. It was so fun watching you last time, and just how many fans you have in the sport. It's great to see how much of a reach you have and how many people have been impacted by your content, which I'm going to ask you about a little bit later on. The first question, with our 7 questions, I'm going to start it off with and make it a little bit easy on you. Like I did with Trevor, we'll start off with the biggest challenge of triathlon from someone switching from just swimming. What has been your biggest challenge?
Oh, 100% the running for me. Usually swimmers tend to not have this coordination on land. Like they're really bad at, performing dry land exercises. But I grew up playing baseball, basketball, volleyball, dabbled on like soccer. So I was skateboarding, rollerblading. And so I was like an outdoor person growing up as a child. So I pretty athletic. I'd say I had a 32.5-inch vertical when I was swimming. So I could touch rim at 5'7", and
Wow.
not done, not there yet. That's my life goal. But it's just the constant pain, the slamming of the legs on the concrete road for running. I'm just not used to it. So I've been injured way too many times the past 3 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think that someone who's made as much progress as you have has still dealt with so many injuries. So the amount of progression you've made while dealing with injuries it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Question number 2. What piece of triathlon gear has been an absolute game changer since you started triathlon?
I would say my a watch, a
Okay.
smart watch, because back in swimming, we never counted how many yards, how many meters we swam a week. Our coach just has all that. We just swam. They, the coach gives us a practice. We swim. The next day we come in a 2 hour practice. The next day a 3 hour practice, and we never really kept track. And we had like weightlifting, dryland session. But after getting a watch, I've been so obsessed and learned how runners are keeping track of their workouts, like putting it on Strava, and the cyclists too. So it's just become like an addiction of, okay, I want to get this data. I want to see my heart rate. And it's just a whole new world that I've seen.
Oh, that's cool. What watch do you wear?
Garmin Forerunner 945.
Okay, and then biggest struggles of being an up and coming professional triathlete.
Oof. It's definitely wanting things right now and wanting to
Mm,
accomplish my dream right now and just having to hold that back. Uh, Tim O'Donnell posted something right before 70.3 Gulf Coast. And he's one of the top US American triathlete, second at Kona in 2019. So really look up to that guy a lot. And he posted that his race in 2001, 70.3 Gulf Coast, was 4 hours, 38 minutes. And he kind of joked like, oh, let's see if I can beat this time this year. And 2001, I was 3 years old. And just thinking about how long Tim has been racing triathlon for decades. And it's just being patient for me,
mhm.
especially with the biking and running and the experience with open water. Just trying to, have fun and be in this sport in the long run.
That is a great answer and great story. Thanks for sharing that with us. That leads us perfectly into the next question. Question number 4. What are your biggest goals from triathlon that you're trying to be patient with? And how long do you think it is going to take you for you to achieve them?
I think every professional goal is to win a race, win a world championship, and that's definitely a dream. And another short and long term goal, I would say, is to get into PTO races. I think we all know how well PTO treats their professional athletes. And, the prize money, if you finish, you get prize money, which is what, $2,000 or something. And yeah, it's like the country club of triathlon, and that's what I'm working towards there. And I'm not too worried when, but I know if I just follow the process and enjoy the training and enjoy this environment, then I think eventually I'll get there.
I love it. That's great. What do you think it will take to get there? And what is your training plan and how are you training to get there?
What will it take? The
Yes.
swimming, I think I should be fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Every race, just see how to get this open water experience, what
Mm,
mistakes I need to learn. Pool swimming is so much different than open water swimming. So just got to learn how to navigate that. The biking and running, just, day in, day out, weeks, put in the work, weeks, months, years to build this volume. And I just have to keep reminding myself that I'm only 3 years into the sport and that, I could peak somewhere in 10 years from the sport. So just working on that, staying healthy, I think that's the number one thing, and not getting injured, um, and try to avoid, big injuries with surgeries and any any other injuries that you should take care of, and just staying healthy.
sure. All right. This is a question I'm super excited to ask you about because I probably won't get to ask too many people about it on the show, but tell us about your content, how you got started making content. You have way over a million followers combined, and how many views you've had is countless. So tell us a little bit about that.
I started making YouTube videos back in 2009. So this was when no one made
Wow.
money. It was a long time ago. I was in elementary school. I had a group of friends like, okay, let's post this video, go home, go back home, post a video, go to school and see. who got the most views, and we were just having fun with it. And I eventually put one of my hobbies, as you can see here, my Rubik's Cube. Started solving different sizes, different shape Rubik's Cube. And I also made a swimming channel back in 2019, which that turned into a triathlon channel, which it is right now. And then two more YouTube channels that I also made, a TikTok, Instagram, and I just posted consistently and trying to make a living off of it, which I did succeed. And yeah, it's a lot of people tell me that, oh, I can never do this or do that, but I think the YouTube is all about storytelling, and it's a technique that you have to master in order to make YouTube videos and how to hook the audience into watching your videos. It's similar to a movie. There needs to be a storyline behind each video in order for people to watch it.
Well, we see a ton of pro triathletes getting into YouTube, starting YouTube channels. What advice would you give to your fellow coworkers, we could call them, on what they could do better with their YouTube channels?
Yeah, so I looked at some obsessed triathlete rating, and I was number 9 of the most followed YouTube channel. And the number 1 was GTN with about 800,000 subscribers. Lionel's up there too with 160,000 subscribers. So I'm pretty surprised. It just tells us that triathlon is a very small compared to the rest of the world, where people have tens of millions of subscribers. And I would say we all need to try to work together and create better YouTube videos. And I think advice I would have is mainly work on your titles and thumbnails. I think that's the first thing that we should do, because people scroll, if you're outside of triathlon, you go to a video, oh, it doesn't look too interesting, the title and the picture, they just scroll right past it. So that's the number 1 thing that people need to work on, is the thumbnail. And Mr. Beast, more than 100 million subscribers, he spends $10,000 to $15,000 on the picture alone, just because everything matters. Oh, what is the psychology of putting the number 7 instead of the number 6 in the picture? What's the saturation of green should be in the thumbnail? So it goes very specific, and I strive everyone to really work on that, so triathlon as a whole and YouTube can reach out to more audience in the world.
I love it. I love it. That's great advice. And I'm trying to work on it myself too. And I've gotten a lot of advice from you when I was out in Texas that I appreciated on it. So thank you so much. All right, we're on already to the hot question. It's gone by really quick. I gave you a choice of hot questions, and I'm really glad you picked this one. It's something I think about a lot, and I've talked with a lot of other triathletes and content creators about. And do you think triathlon is going to grow into a global broadcast sport like the PTO hopes it will?
I think one day it will. I don't know when, but triathlon is fairly a new sport because it was just added to the Olympics back in 2000, while swimming, running had been in the Olympics for decades, I think centuries too. And then people really know about the NBA, the NFL. So it's just a matter of time. I think PTO is really doing an awesome job trying to get the top triathletes in one spot and just focus on them, their storyline, and just follow them throughout the season, just like an NFL season, NBA season, and just follow those top athletes and document those lives throughout each year. And I think they're making a right call that only the top 30, top 40 male and female gets to compete in this, because it should be like that. It's kind of like similar to the golf Open, US Open or something. It's very hard to get to. And yeah, I think they're doing a great job. Ironman is also one of those events where people go like, I want to do an Ironman one day, see what I want to accomplish. So I think that'll still be there, but I think PTO is really pushing it out.
I'll follow on with that. With if there's anything you'd change to make it go a little bit quicker, what would you change on it?
A little quicker. That's the complicated question. That's the billion-dollar question for
That is the
triathlon.
billion-dollar question. That's why I was hoping you would tell me so I could send it off to the PTO.
I mean, PTO is doing an awesome job with, the picture animation,
Mm.
like all these graphics. It's so cool. Um, I don't know. It's just that's I don't know.
That is the billion-dollar question. I didn't expect you to have an answer to it, and I threw that one in there without you knowing. Uh, Thank you so much, Simon. We made it through the 7 questions. I want you to leave the fans with something. And to all those regular triathletes, you made such an amazing progress. Literally 7 months from your first 70.3 to getting your pro card. That's, what young kids can aspire to, something like that. So tell some of the fans how you did it, what you would recommend for them to do to maybe follow in your footsteps, and then anything else you want to say to people watching.
Yeah, I think not a lot of people know this, but that was an accident getting my pro card. And I would not focus on, the goal of, oh, I want to get my pro card. Just focus on the daily activities you do, like, getting 8 hours of sleep, eat healthy, eat a protein shake right before practice, roll out before a hard session. So just all those task goals that you should do instead of just the end result. Because when I did qualify for the pro license at Ironman Arizona, I thought, oh, I did this time. It's too slow. I don't think I got my pro card. What did I do? I signed up for $4,000 of races the next year. And I had to, Ironman refunds like $100 per each event. I signed up for 70.3 Galveston, Ironman Tulsa, the Milwaukee US Open, Olympic and sprint distance in August. So all these amateur races I signed up the next year because I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going pro. But then the point system came out and I got a pro, like, oh, you qualify for pro. Do you want to take it? And I took it. And I had to forfeit all my $4,000 with some extra refund from the next year's race. So focus on the process, not the end result.
I love it. I think that was a great piece of wisdom. And it was something different that we heard to Trevor last week. So that was great. I mean, we're gonna get a lot of stuff from these interviews, I think. And thank you so much for adding to that. Man, it's been an awesome interview. Simon, you're a great speaker. I love watching your videos. Everybody, make sure you go follow Simon on his YouTube channels, on his Instagram, and on his TikTok. He is so consistent with uploading. He puts me to shame. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Simon, hopefully we get to do this sometime. Can't wait to watch you in Boulder. And everybody, it's easy to follow Simon. He's up there in the front of the race, usually at the swim. Root for him and his open water swimming because we want him to come out of the water first soon. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you later, Simon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.